What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie all day. So, I wanted to do a video on which is the best budget hollow handle survival knife. Now, I'm not going to do a test on which has the better edge because these two aren't just used, but I used the crap out of these. It turns out they're both really good. And I will go over these two and then the other two that I have and which one would be your best buy. And I think I have the answer by a long shot. Now, the first two come with just plain nylon sheaths. The Frost Cutlery comes with a sharpening stone box, but there's no sharpening stone. The Harbor Freight just comes with a plain nylon sheath. Now, if you look at it, it's a simple design. It's got the cross tooth saw up top, which is good. It proved itself. I've showed it over and over again. And what today, since it's not going to be a lot of cutting, I want to do some hard hitting and see if any of them will loosen. And that way we can tell by that about their strength. And I happen to know that this and the Frost Cutlery one are pretty durable for what you're getting and dirt cheap. This Harbor Freight thing, man, you can go pick one up right now. I don't know, they're between like $5 and $10, I think, somewhere in there. They are dirt cheap, but you have the compass on the inside. And what we'll do is we'll make sure all the compasses work. We'll see if they all line up to the same place. And inside you have a little bag with your survival gear, which is going to be matches, sewing kit, I don't know, maybe sandpaper, something. But you get a little tiny kit. Is it the best kit? No, it's kind of a crappy little kit. But I want to see if we can actually see how far up the tang goes. So the tang looks like it goes to right around this first barrel, first notch right here. So probably to the top of this one. And it's held in by a screw. Now, back in the day, you can see right there. That's perfect. Back in the day, what they used to do was take something like this. They'd bring it up, and then instead of a pin here, there would be a nut on the inside, and this would be flat to here, and then there'd just be a little rat tail attached to it. And it wouldn't last you more than 8 seconds before the nut loosened. And it was constantly just trying to, I'm going to leave the cap off so we can check the things. So constantly trying to tighten it. This, if you put Loctite on this, and I didn't yet, and I know I use this one. This one has a slight, almost a slight wobble. But it's literally all about just boom, a half turn on that, or not even. This is still so tight. I could just barely feel it. It's just going to be a little schmidge. But if I Loctited it, it would never come out. And it would just stay like that. Now, when you're looking at like a Lyle knife, the way they do it is they take the tang that you see in here, and instead of shoving it through and putting a screw into it, what they do is they take a threaded piece of pipe, right? And then a threaded tang, and they thread the tang into the pipe. Then they drill a hole all the way through and pin it completely through. And that's why a knife like the Mission Series Rambo knives from Jimmy Lyle will never break. They are threaded into the grip and pinned. I mean, people who don't know knife construction or have never tested one will say, oh, yeah, it's a hollow handle, so it's no good. Bull. Baloney. That is not true at all. That Lyle, that design, never break on you. As a matter of fact, I need to do a battle of a couple really good ones. Here, we have the Kislyar Supreme, And you can see how it's doubled up. This thing, not only will it never break, it'll never pretend to break. It won't go anywhere. A proper piece there. And I want to see if I can see how, see, they even put stuff next to the tang. It's kind of hard to see, but you can't see the sides of the tang because they use some kind of blocker in there, plus the double screw setup. Oh, man, this knife, Kislyar Supreme, is one of the most badass hollow handle blades ever made. And speaking of most badass hollow handle blades ever made, it's in here. Hold on. Everybody and their mama wants this one. I freaking love this. This is the Boker Aparo. Man, this thing is sick. So I have two high-end hollows. And of course that happens. And this one, man, I believe it's so hard to tell because it's a solid block in there. And so what I believe they do is they take a solid piece of steel, shove it into a pipe, and then inside of here it is pinned in there, not going anywhere. This thing is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Now the difference between this one, the Kislyar, and the Lyles, and then the cheaper ones, is that this one and this one don't have compasses. They're just not needed. They're all out, just crazy survival blades. Both of these, get it, slap your mama. Those are just, they're two of the best of the best. Literally, best of the best ever made on the planet. So that's that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this guy, and I'll give you the measurements. I'll measure them all out. You'll hear rattling. It's not rattling. It's the thing inside. It's the survival kit. Oh, I forgot to put my survival kit back into one of the blades. So this one, another typical old school 80s survival kit. Very, very cheap stuff inside, but that's what you're hearing rattling around. Compass on the inside. I'll leave that out. And oh, this one does have a sawtooth type saw on the rear. Now this, people are going to wonder what this notch is. I don't have a bayonet next to me that uses it, but what happens is the sheath works as a cutter. And so basically you would attach this to a little notch on the end of this bayonet sheath, and you would do this basically, and it's made to like cut wire and things like that. Why they put that on there when this is the sheath, no idea, but they do. It's there. Oh, let me which one did that survival kit come out of? I think it was this one. Let's put it right back in there. Boop, there it is. All right, so, and then I'll show you the last two, and the last two I haven't used yet. I've had these things. I've been planning this video for a few years, so these knives have just been sitting there. So I figured now's a good time. So this one is an SOA Ultimate Survival Knife, and it's the small version. So you get the cheap little nylon, and then you get this little itty bitty knife. Now, if this was the K-Bar small, I'd be like, yeah, great blade, man. This thing's awesome. But I don't know if this thing is any good. It's the same size pretty much as the K-Bar small, but the K-Bar small is just an awesome knife. So it's got the rubber rings inside the handle, which means eventually they'll shift on you. They'll move. They'll probably break. You might lose some. Take them off if you want. They're just not needed. Let's see if there's a compass in here. It's got a long thread. Oh, there is a little tiny mini compass. So we'll keep that to the side. there is a little tiny mini survival kit. Oh, I want to look to try and see how the tang looks. I don't know where I just dropped it. I dropped it right below me. There it is. It just fell right next to me. All right, so let's take a look at this tang if we can. Oh, okay. So I was explaining this to you. Do you see that? That's a nut that sits right on top of where this guard is, which means this blade ends right here, and then it's just a little tiny rat tail with a nut on it. So that's how they used to do them in the 80s, in the 70s, and they were absolutely terrible. So we'll see if hitting this at all, if that'll loosen up any. Out of the box, it's not loose, so that's promising. So this is the one I was most excited about. This is the SOA, the bigger one. It says Survival Master Knife with Slingshot Sheath. And I was like, game changer. That sounds pretty cool. And then I opened it up and I saw the sheath. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Check that out. So I looked in the box. I'm like, okay, where's the slingshot thing? I couldn't find the slingshot, the actual rubber, the band. And I'm thinking, well, it's got to be around here somewhere. Wait, is it attached to this? And I pulled on this. Oh, wait, no, you know what that is? That's a neck knife. So this one doesn't just come with this a ton of cord, a hard plastic sheath, a slingshot attachment. It comes with a neck knife. I'm like, damn, this might be pretty freaking nice. Then I noticed the handle is the same exact handle as Harbor Freight's. And I'm like, are they selling a Harbor Freight knife? And then I was like, all right, well, let me pull it out. And I said, oh, it's the same cross tooth pattern. Same exact pattern. And then I put it up and I'm like, huh. I think this was made in the same exact factory. This one, however, for some reason, feels a lot heavier. And I'm thinking this might be a cheap material, the handle, and this might be more of a steel. And I think that's why it's getting so much more weight, because knife for knife, I mean, well, they are different. I guess they are. Okay, so this one's lighter weight. Maybe this one is just a better material. But I have to say, in hand, this thing is freaking hefty. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I went, wait, it's a hollow handle. So instead of a survival kit, they took the band for your slingshot, because there's no way you're going to get a slingshot sheath without a slingshot band. That would just be stupid. Here's your compass. And I think they are made probably in the same factory, but I mean, that's exactly the same. I think just different material, but it's made the same. So I opened it up and I'm excited, and I'm like, okay, wait, there's the spring. Okay, there's the survival kit, which is a really nice survival kit, fishing line and all that. It's actually a really nice survival kit. They sell you a knife with a slingshot attachment with no slingshot shot, so with no slingshot band. And I'm thinking, that so far, opening this package has been the only fail. That's terrible. So looking at the tang, it's the exact same, except they one up, maybe not, maybe it's the same. They round off the end and they box it in, so the tang might be a little bit narrower. Oh, now I gotta see. Now I gotta look. My interests are piqued here. Yeah, so this one is a wider tang, but it's all light, so it doesn't feel as strong as this. This one's a narrower tang, but still in the same way. The tang comes through and it's screwed in. So it looks like they should be just as strong. So being disappointed that it didn't have a slingshot band, I luckily have a slingshot that I never opened. And we're going to go ahead and pull this band off and put it on there. Hold on. All right, so that went on nice and easy. Now this is just a daisy slingshot, so you can get them at like any Dick's, Walmart, things like that. you'd be able to find a daisy slingshot. It's really, really narrow, so we're going to see how this thing goes. And it's not lining up perfect, but it should be okay. So we are going to take these out and test them. First, before we go out, I want to look at the compasses and see if they all point in the same direction. So, on the Harbor Freight, north is that away, which is pretty close. On the Frost Cutlery compass, it's still moving a little bit. North is that away. It's not very close. On the mini one, north is that away. It's a little close. And on the bigger one, north is that away. This is the only one that's accurate. Okay, so we got, out of the bunch, I have one compass that's accurate. Let's go outside. Almost forgot. Tape measure. Let's see. 3 of these should be about the exact same. So we are looking at 10-inch blade, 14 3/4 overall Frost Cutlery. We are looking at, a little shorter. We are looking at about 9 3/4 inch blade, 13 1/2 inch overall Harbor Freight. We are looking at, looks like the same thing, 8 3/4 inch blade, 13 1/2 inch on the SOA. And on the mini, we are looking at 5 1/2 inch blade with a 9 1/2 inch overall. All right, so the first test is going to be just a small throw, but a hard throw into a piece of timber to see if anything loosens. You can get a good look at them in the sun now. You can see this one's got kind of like a little mini saw serrate here and a little saw here. It's heavy, so it gives you false sense of security knowing there's a nut in there. If, I'm guessing you have, first of all, a wrench long enough to get in there and get that nut off, you could red Loctite it and put it back on and it might stay. And then after you Loctite it, if you filled it with, if you fill just this bottom where the nut is with JB Weld, it wouldn't go anywhere. The only problem you'd have to worry about is the actual tang snapping from the rat tail. That's it. Outside of that, it would hold if it was a through tang instead of a rat tail. But let's try this out anyway. We got that timber right there. Let's see if we can't get a throw into it. Just trying a no spin on a hollow handle with rubber pieces. There we go. All right, now we're in business. So it dove in pretty deep. Didn't loosen yet. We're going to try 2 sticks. So 2 good throws, however many misses. All right. So this one's at a disadvantage for the hit test because it's so small. Good news is you don't have to wait, really, to find out, because that tip bent over pretty hard right there. So the good thing is the tip bent, which means if you are in a survival situation, you happen to have this piece of crap, you can just take a stick and hammer that back straight, and I'll actually do that right now. All right, let's see here. Let's move these other guys. Take my little baton, find the angle. It shouldn't take much. I just have to actually hit the tip. And let's see. Straightening a little bit. Now the key is to try and not break it. But what happened is this tip is so soft like with a differential heat treat, like a lot of my my D-Bad knives from Nepal, they're differential heat treated. So the tip is made to be a little softer than the edge, and that way only the tip would bend and not break. But it's differential heat treated really well, so you can actually bring it back. This one, the heat treat is just not good. Not good at all. I mean, there's no differential heat treat. It's just a poor, or it's just not heat treated at all. So the tip, unsavable on this one, is what it is. Let's go to the next. All right, so next is the Harbor Freight. One thing I hate is having a lanyard on the end of these. The ones that came with it on there, I'm just leaving it on there for the testing. Normally I would take this off. You can tell by the use of this edge. I've used this a bunch and I just left the lanyard on there. Don't know why, but normally I would just take them off. Let's try this throw here. Ooh, that hit solid. That hit solid. Ugh. Ooh, yeah. That was nice. That was actually really nice. I gotta wrap up that lanyard in my hand again. Let's try that again. Oh, the dog's chasing butterflies. Bam! All right, so I'm throwing that pretty hard, and it's hitting. There's no loosening, nothing like that. The blade is going to take a couple of throws. All right, so next is the Frost cutlery. That hit pretty solid too. You can hear the inside, the survival kit banging around in there. No loosening. Oh gosh, that is solid. All right, so that one went way in there. This is a little bit of a longer knife, a little bit heavier than the other one, so I could see why it's dipping in so hard. It did not loosen. Again, I did not Loctite any of these screws yet. I probably will, but I haven't yet. So let's go with the Slingshot one, the SOA. This is probably the heaviest. I don't know if it's as heavy. Maybe it's close to heavy as the Frost, but the Frost is just a little bit bigger. That's why. But this one has the most solid feel. Ooh. Yeah. All right, nothing loose. Had a good dive in the tip there. Man. All right. So nothing loose. It's going to come down to hitting. All right, for doodles and ha-has, I'm going to first hit with the mini. It's a little hard to get a swing on this because it's so lightweight in the front, but we will figure it out. As you can see by the wobbling, it's very windy. It's working. It's working. It's working. I owe you sometimes what I got. Okay. So, right away, this thing is shaking like crazy. That nut, this is even moving. That nut is sliding down. I'm pretty sure if I keep going, that is just going to completely disconnect. As expected or as thought, this is garbage. All right, so now for the extremely lightweight, I'm talking really lightweight, Harbor Freight knife. Let's finish off this little guy right here. I have batoned with this, I've thrown it, I've beaten it. This thing just keeps on working. No loosening, nothing. This is a hollow handle. I mean, a hollow grind and a hollow handle. It is a hollow grind, so it's not, while it's not made for hitting necessarily, I haven't had a single problem with this knife for the, I don't know, 4 or 5 years I've owned it. Somewhere in there. Harbor Freight. The thing is dirt cheap. Ugh. It's so inexpensive, it's almost free. All right, so for the Frost cutlery, the weight change is absolutely noticeable in this knife. This will get you there. Let's see if it's going to loosen it all. You can hear the difference in the sound when this one hit. Oh, that's a nice hard piece right there. You can see the brown. Oh, that's probably why the sound is different. I'm in a knot. Let's see. Still tight. Let me try up here. I'm running out of angle over here, actually. Yeah, I'll try up here. While this one's bigger, I like the Harbor Freight one better. That's true. It's kind of like Lyle's Mission 1 and Mission 2, the first two Rambos. The first one's smaller, but I like it better. It's my favorite. That's a nice hard piece of Arizona mesquite. I feel no, it was just the oh, it's this that there's no on this one. There's no little rubber ring. I don't know if there wasn't or if I just lost it. Not sure, but so that just loosened this. Just the cap. The blade did not. All right, now for the SOA, where the weight feels really, actually, really nice. The weight feels pretty nice on this one. That's not so bad. Now let's find out how that screw is going to hold up. Is this a hollow grind too? Yes, it is. Oh man, this tree's bouncing all over the place. It makes it really hard. Oh yeah. It's absolutely chopping like a demon, though. That loosened from my hand being on it. The blade did not. All right, so blade for blade, the mini one, that is absolute trash. If you see this at your favorite Bud K or wherever they're sold, stay very far away from this thing right here. That is absolutely terrible. The Frost cutlery and the Harbor Freight, for the money, you cannot go wrong. And I promise you, if you take out those screws, Loctite them, and stick them back in, those things you will never ever have a problem with. And I can say the very same thing for this SOA, which is funny because it's the same as this as far as the company who makes them. So it's really weird that this would be so good. So what it comes down to is two things. Price. If you're looking to spend almost nothing, go to Harbor Freight. Willing to spend just a little bit more for something a little bit bigger, go to Frost Cutlery. If you're looking for a package that offers you the ability to have a Slingshot, you go with this one. And we need to check that Slingshot action out. So the SOA, what it has going for it over the others is the Slingshot attachment that you have to get your own band for. It has a molded sheath. It has a neck knife. It has a better strap system. So everything about the total package is better. And the fact that you have the ability to slingshot changes a whole lot. I didn't bring out any slingshot ammo with me, so I'm just going to pick up a few rocks here and shoot them off in the distance. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out. You're not going to be able to see the rock. I'm barely going to be able to see the rock unless it hits off this sheath and comes back and bites me in the face. But I'm going to try and sling it at least toward the shell. it works. That one got away from me. All right, so I just filmed my entire assessment without pressing play. So what I need to do is now find out where I left off. Well, so this is what happened. I took a shot with the Slingshot, and the this is so tight because it's brand new. It just kicked back on me, and I never got the shot off. So I went to find another rock to take a second shot, which I did. And after I took the second shot, or after I took the first shot, I must have pressed pause or something because the shot was not on film. So I'm glad I went back over because I actually did take a rock and hit the shed, and none of it was on film. So let me find another little stone here. Another little stone here is a gratuitous butt shot if I got it in there. Let's see. All right, let's try this again. Got the dog over there. Probably gonna give her a whap. All right, let's see. All right, so using an oblong rock, that thing curved like crazy. Yes, it's windy, but I'm not blaming the wind. I think the rock, the way it spun, because I actually heard it go woo. I think the rock, I should have just brought out some ammo, but I did not. I got plenty of stuff out here to shoot. All right, so let's try that again. That one fell short. I swear I actually had one decent shot. So the dog is chasing butterflies. That's why she's running back and forth. All right, let's try this again. Ooh, that was nice. So that one was a dead straight shot, beeline, hit the side. Obviously, you see her going in there because that rock hit, and now she is trying to figure out what the hell that was. I can't lie. That was a really nice one. So if you are 10 feet away from a duck or something, you could probably maybe not kill it, but probably disorientate it long enough to go get it. And that's not too bad. A little bit of practice and all that. Now, the problem is you can't close this because the arms won't let that happen, and it just kind of dangles like a less than excited man. And that'll catch on everything when you're walking. So if you did this would go against your leg, and this would be against your leg, so you'd have less chances of catching something. My recommendation that if you're going to do something like this, just pull that up and bring a rubber band with you and rubber band it to there, and you won't catch on anything. You'll be just fine. You'll always have your Slingshot. But out of all of them, I can definitely recommend this just because it's the total package. So you get the neck knife, the real knife, that all in one shot, and they're really not expensive. So the SOA survival knife, winner chicken dinner. I guess that's it for this one. I am Donnie all day. Until next knife.